94.95. Thanks very much for tuning in this morning. 6:06 our time, and we have got ourselves a lovely day. We may actually get a little sun. Partly cloudy, really, for the next 4 days. High today, 54. Tomorrow, 59. Looks like Thursday is going to be 54 again, and Friday, 61. Now, that cold snap that they were talking about over the weekend that was supposed to be in the 40s, they have erased it completely. It is now looking at 61 and maybe 54 on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's like, what's the dealio with that? Because everybody was arguing about, oh, no, we're going to have this Arctic blast that, the northern tier of the country is going to get. We're going to get some of that. And
apparently, it's just going to be further north than we originally anticipated, and that's okay with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I got stuff to do, places to go, people to see, and I'd rather not crank up the heat to the nth degree, if I can avoid it, because it's a little on the costly side.
Yes.
Nowadays.
Right now, it's running this morning.
Oh,
because
man.
the temperature right now, it's 33. We're close to the freezing mark. That's a little chilly.
Thank you,
Yeah.
but no thank you. Man, I don't know. I am, I've given up on saying I'm behind. I'm just out. I'm taking myself out of the game. How about that?
Oh, wow.
I just completely removed myself from the game.
Does this have anything to do with Whamageddon? Is that what this is
No,
all
it has
about?
nothing to do with
Nothing to do
Whamageddon. No,
with it?
that I already got whammed. That's done. That's
You're
long
done.
since over.
That's what I feel like. You're just throwing in the towel all the way around.
No, I just feel like I'm so far behind now that I'm just like, all right, how about I skip this year and I start working on next year? How would that be?
Start working on next
Do
year
that?
now?
Yeah, because no one's getting a decent present this year. You're all getting crap. I just want you to know it's going to be garbage.
I'm almost in that same. I'm in the same wheelhouse with you, Richard.
I mean,
I make a list every day of the things that I need to accomplish, and when I get ready to go to bed, I think I checked off 2 things the whole day, and I'm like, I can't get it done.
Nope.
So,
and there's other commitments that I've made for other things that need to be done, and so I'm trying to fit Christmas in and around all of these building blocks. It has just been
it's done.
a bit of a nightmare, and so I feel terrible about this. And aside from the Hallmark Christmas movies, which I adore.
You have time for those, huh?
Well, only because I'm decorating trees, and so they're on. Okay,
You see where his priorities are. The heck with family and friends. I got to focus on my trees.
Well, I mean, I have trees. Family and friends, not so much. That's
Yes,
part of the
you
thing.
do. Yes, you do.
But,
Well, are you including those he's disowned?
No, I don't think those are included.
I have not really watched a Christmas movie yet this year. I have not actually put on a Christmas movie to watch from start to finish because I just haven't had the time for it. And once I get done with these trees, I got, I got 4 upstairs that got to be done. And that'll be it. And then it's just garland on the walls in the living room. So sometime around December 23rd, I'll be finished, I think. And then it's going to be fudge and cookie time because I only made 1 batch of eat. Well, I made
maybe this year just keep it. Really it's not a bad idea. Just keep it up all year round. It comes swinging around, and guess what? You're way ahead of the game,
It's
Richard.
not a bad idea. Lunatics say that.
Uh-huh.
Lunatics say
Well,
that. It's
or
not a
old
bad
people
idea.
like us, we just say, I ain't got time for that.
Do you
Just
remember?
leave it up.
Remember when you'd go trick or treating and you'd run across that one crazy person who already had their Christmas tree up, and you're like, "It's October 31st. Should they have the Christmas tree up?" And then you realize it's been there all year.
Yep.
That's just not right.
No, it's
That's a crazy person
Or
who does that.
there's a lot of people that leave lights on a house. They just don't light them up.
Yeah.
Until the holiday rolls back around. You don't even see them during the day.
Oh, you think you don't? So
Yeah,
people
I
are
don't-
like,
I
no
don't
one
see
can see
those.
this. Like, no, I see those.
Yeah,
I see the fact
You-
that you're so lazy you couldn't get the lights
If
down
they're
off
not
the
lit
tree.
up, you don't see them.
Yeah.
No,
Uh-huh.
I don't. No, I don't
Yeah.
see.
No, they're hanging there. They get all stretched out. They get broken. Squirrels chew into them.
I
can't see.
had that experience. I had some tree in my old house. I had a bunch of trees that hung over the patio, and I was like, "Oh, it'd be really pretty. I'll put some of the Christmas green light, bright white lights, and I'll hang them in the trees there." And I got up on the ladder and spent a weekend making it all beautiful. I swear to you, a week later, I don't know what's in the wires or why they're attracted to it. Those squirrels ate nothing worked 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on out here?
Yeah.
And the squirrels chewed the lights.
I
And was
did
like,
that.
I hope you got shocked.
I put landscape lighting in my backyard once, and I spent a good bit of money. Did it myself, but I went out and bought all the pieces and installed it all, and really looked fantastic for about 2 weeks. And then stuff started breaking, and I found that maintaining the landscape lighting was a full-time job.
Uh-huh.
I finally just let it go. I was just like, never mind. I'm sorry that I ever even started this because I every day. It was something else. I had to go replace some wire. I had to go replace a bulb. Something had to be done every single day. And I was like, I don't have the energy for this.
That reminds me of a story. I had a row of lights that lined coming into the driveway from a house a long way back. And I did the same thing. The lights would go out. I'd go out there and change them. And sometimes that little cord thing would come up undone. But they looked really pretty, and they helped to kind of guide you down the driveway. Well, I had a Christmas party, and a couple people got too much into the punch.
Oh, no.
Oh, on the way out, they took out every light, and they took out my mailbox.
Oh.
The next
Ouch.
next morning I go out and I'm like, what happened out here?
The punch is what
They
happened.
took the whole, I mean, it was like 8 lights. Boom, 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 boom. And then the mailbox. I was like, oh, well, that was an expensive party.
Yikes.
Into the lights.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what
And nobody was going to
that's what
admit to it.
Of course no one admitted
Nobody
to
like,
it. I
hey,
was
listen.
like, could someone please, anyone?
No.
Bueller?
Sad but true.
Yeah.
No, but the one thing I can say for certain is that I don't have to buy a single thing next year. I mean, I'm opening containers. I'm like, oh, here's here's a reel of lights. Like I bought these last year, I guess, after Christmas, and I never put them up.
Right.
I got like 4 reels of lights
See,
that I'm
once
like, I
again,
don't even have a place to put these things.
You need to, you're pretty organized. Get you a little one sheeter that's got here's what I've got, so that when you get to it, you're not like, oh, this is a surprise.
I'm gonna
Because you're gonna go. You'll do like I'll just buy more white lights every year. It's like 6 boxes.
becomes a question of when I put all of this away, labeling it properly to
Right.
make sure that it all goes where it's supposed to go. And so, but I can remember this now. I think from year to year, I think I can actually remember I'm not going to have to buy a thing next year.
Well, I think you might need to write a note to yourself
Yeah.
to remind you of
Probably, I'll put it in
Yeah.
I'll put it in my phone for the day after Thanksgiving when I start getting out the Christmas stuff. Don't buy any Christmas stuff.
that. The other dilemma I have, I had brought the tree from the old house. The old house had the huge ceilings.
Right.
This one's right at the top of the
There you go.
ceiling.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't know if this is going to be, I need to trash this tree after this Christmas, or I need to put it back in the box in the attic
Yep.
and hang on to this thing and just keep using
This is
it.
the one with the lights.
There used to be like, I don't know, 8 strands on it. I think there's a quarter of a strand that works.
And the rest of them.
The
you
rest
have to
of
put
them
on
I have to
yourself.
put on all new lights.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is a little disturbing because you can see like the unlit lights
right.
that
They're
are
like,
on
hey,
there. You're like,
the company or family, hey, do you see you have some? Yes, I know I have some lights
Well,
out.
there.
As a matter of fact, the whole tree is out.
right. Thanks for pointing that out.
I appreciate it.
Happy
Yes, I see that.
holidays.
That's why I'm thinking of trashing the tree and get one that really fits the room correctly, because this thing it's just it looks like a ginormous 500-pound man standing in the corner over
Treezilla.
there. He's
Sure.
huge.
Yikes. I got to make a note of this. I don't know how many people have made it to Sonny's Barbecue. It's really big in Florida. And I think there are some down south of
We had
here.
one in There was one in Tuscaloosa
Yeah.
when I was in college.
There used
and
to be
it was
one at the
good.
corner of 119 and 31 down there in Pelham, and I don't know why it never made it. It was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Great sauce and really good barbecue. But they're all over the Southeast, just somehow never really took hold in Birmingham. But the founder of Sonny's Barbecue, Sonny Tillman, has passed away. A nice guy. I met him. I got to interview him many, many years ago, and I was I think I was in Gainesville at the time. I don't recall. But great place. Absolutely overfed you. Gave you a bucket of sweet tea. Just when you ordered the sweet tea, it came in this ginormous glass that took 2 hands to pick up. They were very big on making sure that you left the place fat and happy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
But
that.
probably, a little problem with Sonny's Barbecue, and I liked it too. Don't get me wrong. But man, do we have some really good barbecue joints?
Yes.
I mean, and if you think of Tuscaloosa, I'm thinking Dreamland. There were some others there too. In Birmingham, oh my gosh, we are covered up with
It's
really
difficult
good.
between Golden Rule and Dreamland.
Jim and Nick's.
And a
Full
full
Moon.
moon.
Full Moon's excellent.
It's tough to shoehorn your way into
Yeah,
a market that's already full of places. Anyway, I don't know what the ceremonial plans are, but I understand that Sonny asked to be cremated at 2:25 for 6 hours, and
The man just died, Richard.
He would like that joke. He would
He
find
would.
it funny.
He,
Yeah.
he was
I
a
met
funny
him. He
man.
had a good sense of humor.
He's right now looking down on you,
He would
going,
be
"Good
like,
one,
he'd
Richard."
be like, no, 12 hours, Richard. 12 hours.
You got the time
I'm gonna
wrong
go
on
12
it.
hours.
Low and slow, man. Low and slow.
The Alabama Men's Clinic, 5987000. This is the place that is asking you a fairly simple question, and that is, what are you doing with your life? Huh? What, you know how much you're missing out on? Just because of the low T, because of the ED situation, all the fun you could be having that you're not having because you are draggy, because your energy is gone. And that all has to do with your testosterone level. That, my friends, can be fixed fairly quickly, fairly easily with a visit to the Alabama Men's Clinic. 5987000 is the telephone number. You call, you make an appointment. The initial consultation, $99. They will check you out and see what the situation is. Do you have low T? If so, they'll talk to you about a variety of ways that they can treat that. And there are a variety of ways, some more invasive than others. And in the long run, you get your testosterone level back up where you want it to be. And you know what? You feel like $1,000,000, green and wrinkly. That's right. The Alabama Men's Clinic, 5987000, or online, alabamamensclinic.com. Low T, ED, hair loss, weight loss, all handled by the guys that focus on men's health. The Alabama Men's Clinic at 5987000. Blues Image. Is that right? Yeah. A lot of groups with blues in their name back in the day. Blues Magoos, Blues Image. They really liked the blues back then. I don't know why. 621 Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5 Talk 99.5.com. It is very chilly this morning, but it will warm up into the lower 50s by later today, 54 for a high, partly cloudy skies. Overall, it should be relatively A-OK. That's all I have on that.
We hope. We hope.
We make no promises.
And no Arctic blast for us this weekend, please.
I can live with that.
That'd be really
Be okay with
nice.
me.
Yeah. Hey, our good friends over at Birmingham Broker, Craig and Keith, helping so many people sell their used vehicles. I just saw Craig up on Facebook. He's trying to grow their social media page there. Go check it out. Talking about so many people that are finding out that Birmingham Broker truly can help them to sell their truck or their SUV, whatever it is that they need to sell, without you having to hassle with it yourself. And that's a lot of it. The other thing is, and I think from a female perspective, that it's really a safe way to sell your car and not feel like you're getting ripped off if you trade your car in. There's that awful feeling of, I think I didn't get everything I should have out of that used vehicle. There's a lot of equity in used vehicles right now. I mean, a lot. So if you have a car or a truck, classic car, whatever it might be, maybe you've had someone in your family pass away, it's grandma's car or a loved one's car that's sitting there, and you just really don't want to deal with it. And so all you need to do is get that vehicle to Craig and Keith, downtown Birmingham, 2224 4th Avenue South. That is where they are located. You can also go online to find out a little bit more, but introduce yourself to these guys, because I promise you it is the best way to get your vehicle, your used vehicle, sold without you having to lift a finger, really, other than to pick up the check when Craig and Keith sell the car. That's it. BHAMBroker.com. That's BHAMBroker.com.
623. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a.k.a. ICE, is warning that Illinois officials are releasing violent criminal illegal aliens despite active immigration detainers, a move that the agency says is putting the public at risk. This is a very Trumpian thing to do. You see, Illinois wants to be like, oh, we're all liberal and good and blue, and look how great we are. We're not holding on to these people. We're not cooperating with ICE because we don't like ICE, because it's terrible that they're enforcing the laws the way they're written. So we're going to let these guys go. And so ICE just goes to the people of Illinois and says, hey, do you see what's going on here? They're letting violent criminals wander back onto your streets. Is this what you want? And the citizens of Illinois go, wait, now what? They're doing what now? Hold on. Because everybody loves the idea of not cooperating with ICE until you realize these are rapists, these are pedophiles, these are drunk drivers who hit and kill people. These are terrible human beings, many of them committing crimes intentionally on a fairly consistent basis, because it's what they are, it's who they are, it's how they live their lives. And, it's no longer just an idea. When you make it concrete and you say, someone that you love could be hurt by one of these 1,800 people that these guys are just letting go, suddenly the citizens of Illinois go, wait, why are we not cooperating with them again?
It's very reminiscent of, defunding police. Why all of a sudden is good? And I'm talking about ICE and police that are trying to protect citizens across cities all across this country. Why all of a sudden is ICE bad? If you really break it down, what ICE is trying to do is detain the worst of the worst illegal immigrants and get them out of this country so they no longer can commit rapes or murder or robbery or whatever it is that they want to do. The fact that they're doing this, that there's people in Chicago going, have you all lost your mind?
Oh, yeah.
We need ICE to come get these guys that have been detained, and we need to get them out of Illinois. Get them out. Ship them back to where they came from. And the fact that you have people in positions in Illinois, governor, mayors of different cities that are blue going, yeah, we're perfectly fine with this. We're going to let 1,800 criminals just walk the streets again. Good luck with your daughter or your kids that are walking to school or your wife that's going to the grocery store. Don't worry about that, but we're going to release 1,800 criminal aliens.
This is one of those where you want to say, okay, so if somebody gets hurt by one of these aliens, can we sue the guys who decided to let him go? Can we do something
and hold them responsible?
Can we hold them responsible?
Hold somebody responsible because you're not supposed to release these detainees.
Yeah, if that were the case, if you actually could hold these guys responsible and there was some sort of comeuppance for this, I'm guessing that they might actually hold on to them a little bit. They might be willing to hold on. D.C. police chief is resigning. She's only been on the job for 2.5 years. You might remember when the federal government came in and basically took over the police department. That she was a little miffed about it, but was asked, what's the new chain of command now? And she said, "What's that?" What's
command?
the chain
she
of?
didn't know.
She was unfamiliar with the term chain of command. This is an example of a DEI hire. Folks.
Yeah. How did you get to chief without knowing chain of command? I mean, that's like that's elementary 101 policing, military. Everybody knows what. In our own office, we know what the chain of command is in our own office.
We ignore it, but we know what it is.
How does this woman not know this?
I always thought of it more as a rope.
It's like a chain of Funyuns.
Oh.
Very, very loose. Pamela Smith resigning her position. She says, look, when you know it's time, it's time. But one of the things that's going on right now that could be the reason is that they're doing a probe into maybe cooking the books on the crime numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they were, well, here's what I think was going on, and I think some police officers there have already said as much. We would catch somebody in the act of a major felony, and somebody in a higher up position would show up on the scene, and they would talk us down into putting it down as like maybe a major misdemeanor. It would be like, well, not so much breaking and entering. This is just loitering. Like, wait a minute, the guy was actually breaking in. Well, now hold on a second. This was actually criminal mischief, and so they didn't want a lot of really bad crimes on the books. So they were cooking the books to make it seem as though crime wasn't as bad as it actually was. If you ask the citizens of D.C., they would say, oh, no, it's completely out of control. But the numbers said otherwise. And so they could hold up their stats and go like, look, things aren't that bad. People can tell when things are that bad. A little bit like economic numbers.
And you've got some, also those that were underneath this police chief, other officers and detectives that have filed all kinds of complaints about her and this department. And it's a bit of a mess. And I think she saw the writing on the wall and said, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So here I go.
So what happens when you hire somebody based on anything other than their capabilities? Last but not least, the Islamic Academy of Alabama dropping their plans for now to relocate to Hoover. This comes as many people in the community spoke out about the academy moving to Hoover during the city's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting last week. They didn't want them. They said, thanks, but no thanks. Why don't you guys just stay in Homewood where you are? And they said, well, we're trying to grow. And they said, that's exactly our problem with this. So no, you're not coming to our city. How about that?
And Tommy Tuberville, Senator Tommy Tuberville, very vocal about it as well.
Said a thing or two. So
yes.
They are going to be staying where they are for the time being. There you go. There's the 3 things you need to know for today. We'll have a different 3 things coming up in the next hour, most likely, because who knows? It all changes. That's the one thing about news. If it's the same all the time, it's no longer news. It's olds.
That's right. That's what they call it, or
That's
used
right.
to.
Yeah.
Olds.
Olds.
Welcome in.
Olds.
You're listening to Olds.
It's Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. Buck Owens, very nice. I like it. 635, Dixon Dividing, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Up to 54 later today, but 33 or so right now. So brisk. Grab the jacket on the way out the door. Try not to forget it when you leave work later. That's my,
because you're going to need
tip
it
for you.
Mm-hmm. Oof. I'm just, I'm so glad that the forecast changed just a little bit and that we don't have the Arctic blast that we were talking about.
Not
Let's
this
hope
weekend.
it doesn't change for
Not
this weekend.
this weekend,
Yeah.
but yeah, you
No
can.
Arctic blast.
We'll get here eventually.
Yeah, probably so. You know what we'll eventually get here as well, and that's more rain in the forecast. We had a great time Friday night at Siluria Brewing talking with some of our listeners, and one of our listeners walked up and said, I am so glad that I heard about Noble Contractors, you talking about it, Valerie, because I called Noble Contractors after getting 2 other estimates, and she said I was blown away at how reasonable Daniel is at Noble Contractors. So I encourage you to call Daniel today as well. Here's what I want you to do. Here's his number, 205-422-3034. When you talk to Daniel, you tell him what it is that you need gutter-wise at your home. If you need all new gutters, he can give you an estimate on that. If you want the covers on the gutters, no problem there. If maybe you've got some issues at your home and you need repairs, maybe it's the soffit or the fascia, you've got some wood that has rotted there, and now the gutter is fallen down, no problem. He can come out and repair that. And that's what's really great about knowing Daniel and Noble Contractors. So reach out to him today. Ask him for that free estimate. He's a big Talk 99.5 listener and a fan, and we're a big fan of his. And just tell him that we sent you, and you'll get a 10% discount on those new gutters. Reach out to him today for that free estimate. Again, 422-3034. Online, noblecontractorsala.com, and check out some of his work on Facebook as well. Noble Contractors.
Yeah, boy. Georgia State Representative Sharon Henderson was arrested yesterday after a federal grand jury indicted her on charges alleging she stole more than $17,000 in pandemic unemployment benefits by falsely claiming she had lost work due to COVID-19. It is shocking that a public official would allegedly lie to profit from an emergency program designed to help suffering community members, said U.S. Attorney Theodore S. Hertzberg. Shocking. Where have you been? Politicians who violate the public trust and steal from the needy to enrich themselves will be held accountable. Yeah. What about Somalis? Do they get held accountable?
Maybe no. Let's start with the top and work our way down there, Richard.
Prosecutors say Henderson, who joined the Georgia House in 2021, applied for federal unemployment programs in mid-2020 while running for office, asserting she had recently worked for Henry County Schools. In reality, investigators say she served only briefly as a substitute teacher in 2018 and acknowledged at the time that substitutes were ineligible for unemployment benefits. Well, they're one of the few people who are ineligible. It's amazing to me when you look at what they were doing with the COVID PPP funding.
Boy, they were handing that out,
gosh,
I'm telling
I mean,
you.
like candy in a schoolyard.
That's exactly right.
Just absolutely crazy that if you essentially, you could be self-employed and you could say, oh, yeah, I've lost work as a result of the pandemic. I'm a house painter and no one's having their houses painted right now. Well, how much would you have made? No, I usually would make $10,000 a month. Oh, you must be a good house painter. Yeah, I am. All right, well, we can't give you $10,000, but here's $5,000. I'd never painted a house in my life. And they're slowly but surely beginning to find some of these people that have. But you know how many are slipping through the cracks?
Oh, yeah, untold.
Yeah.
Untold numbers. We'll never know what the reality of that is. And there, some people are going to get caught. Others are going to go, I got away with it.
And many of these PPP loans have been completely forgiven. That is to say, okay, well, I know we said that they were loans and you had to pay them back, but, you were helping people during the pandemic, whatever. Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay us any money at all. So in other words, the United States borrowed money from itself to give to you in the form of a loan, thinking that you were going to pay it back at some point, and then went,
They're
you know
not
what, never
paying it
mind.
back. No.
We'll go ahead and bear the cost of that ourselves. $2 trillion for one program that was put together, another $2 trillion for another program that was put together. There was over $6 trillion in deficit spending that took place during the COVID emergency. That was really unnecessary, I think.
Well, and again, the government doesn't do anything well when it comes to money.
Oh, no.
They dole it out pretty well. I mean, that's one thing they're good at. But keeping track of who got what and when, and then going after them, it's going to be 2%. It's the number is going to be incredibly low.
It's the exact same percentage of people that Columbia House went after for not buying one
Just
album at the
5
regular
cents.
price. Yeah, I got 12 records and tapes
Did you
for
ever
a penny.
do that?
Of course I
Did
did.
you?
Of course I did.
I never did that.
Oh
No.
yeah.
I never did that, but I think because when I was very young, I was trying to figure out a way to make some money, and there was a company that would send you all these holiday cards, like a pack of 25, and then you could go sell them for a little bit more than what you purchased them for. And they arrived at the house, and my mother was like, "What did you order?" And I was like, "Well, instead of the lemonade stand, I'm going to sell these Christmas cards." No, the Christmas cards went back because it was. Even then, it was a bit of a scam.
No. A scam, you say?
So-
What?
When we got to the records thing,
Yeah.
I was about to pull the trigger on it, but I was like, no, I got in trouble when I was younger when I did something, so I didn't pull the trigger.
I sold grit.
Grit.
No, I didn't. It was the nation's #1 selling newspaper.
Right.
Well, I heard it was right there in the ad next to the X-ray glasses
Oh, nice.
in the back of the
Nice.
magazine, right?
Yes.
Good Lord. Actually, I did the Columbia House thing twice. I did it
How'd that
once
go?
when I was in 8th grade. What happened is they would, every month you'd get a magazine. It would say, send back the card saying no selection, or we're going to send you this month's selection and bill you for it.
Yeah.
Well, I did pretty good, staying on top of that.
Until they pretended that they didn't get the card.
No, I forgot to send the card. No
Oh.
question about it. One time it showed up, and I just, look, here's the thing. Trying to find a stamp when you're that age
Oh.
is
yeah.
nearly impossible. Like they're just not around. Now I keep a book on hand at all times just because if I need to mail something, I need to have them convenient, and it's right there. It's
Yeah.
like
Meanwhile, the stamps are falling apart because we're not using them. There's no stickiness.
no, I
to
keep
it.
them in a safe place. I keep them
Away
in a safe
from
place.
everybody.
Away from
Away
cockroaches.
from sticky fingers.
Away
oh,
from
cockroaches.
yes.
Gross.
Um, But so I get the card in the mail and the magazine or whatever. It was like Elvis's 50th anniversary, 50 great hits from Elvis on 2 8-tracks. I chose the 8-tracks. Yeah. And I just never got the card back. And they sent it to me, and they said, okay, now you owe us this much money. And I was like, oh, I don't have that money. What am I going to do? And so they harassed me for a while. And they were like, we're going to send lawyers after you.
Oh.
And I knew just enough about Minnesota law at the time to respond with a note at the bottom, because they sent me a stamper. They sent me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I don't remember what it was. But I addressed at the bottom of it, I said, I'm under 18 and thereby, under Minnesota law, unable to enter into a contract legally, and sent that back to them. Never heard from them again.
Yeah, that was it.
They never bothered me until they finally sent me something saying, okay, well, you owe us $13.99 and we're going to track you down. And I kept that piece of paper in my pocket for years. My Minnesota Vikings jacket with the white leather sleeves and the purple cloth jacket.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while, like every winter, I'd put that jacket on and reach to what is this? Oh, Columbia House is still after me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put that back in the pocket here and wait for them to come get me. Never happened. I did it again as an adult because I got a stereo and I had no CDs, 0 CDs. I finally had a CD player. And I was like, I got to get some CDs. Well, here comes Columbia House again.
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
I wonder if they remember me.
Hopefully not.
No, I got the 12 CDs for a penny again. And then I actually followed
I
through.
can't believe
and
you did that.
I bought what I was supposed to buy this time.
Okay.
I followed through and I did what I was supposed to do. And then I terminated the relationship. I was like, we're done here. Thank you very much.
And by the way, you owe us $13.
I
from when you
could
were
have paid
7.
them. I could have. I was afraid they were going to like try to stick me with extra fees and interest.
They're gonna
and
have some way we're going to make it back.
that's now $479,000.
It's like that library book you forgot to return.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what do I owe you now? How much?
I don't
That's more than the book costs.
Yeah.
What?
See, Blockbuster had it right. They would just charge you for the, after a certain amount of time, they'd just be like, oh, we just put $75 on your card. You what? Well, you didn't get it back to me, so you now own Free Jack City. Congratulations.
Hope you
New
enjoy
Jack
that.
City,
Watch
whatever
it
it is.
over and over and over
That's
again.
right. You didn't somehow manage to watch it the entire time that you had it while you rented it, but now you have it forever. Congratulations. 6:45 with Dixon and Vining, Mr. Bugs, MRBU GGS MrBugs.com. They know what bugs you. When the insects begin to infest, these are the guys that you want to call. You want them on your side. They've got techs that know their stuff. They know the juice that should be used. They know where and when to put it. All of this is important because, if you're putting it in the wrong place or you're using the wrong stuff, you're still going to have an insect infestation. Maybe you're dealing with arachnids. Maybe you're dealing with spiders. They're the same thing. Maybe you're dealing with ants. Maybe you're dealing with these Japanese beetles that are infesting our studio right now. Whatever the case may be. Can we get these Japanese beetles into an internment camp?
That'd be nice.
That'd be a
They're
good way.
everywhere
Just
right
get the
now.
whole family and start putting them away.
Get them out of
I
here.
have the feeling we can do that. Anyway, Mr. Bugs will come by and take care of the small rodents as well, termite bonding, and yes, mosquito reduction during the summer months. That's what they do once a month, once every other month, once every third month. It is MRBUGGS.com, MrBugs.com. They know what bugs you. 941-6252. By the way, the fact that I didn't even think about trying to game the system with this PPP funding when they came out with it. We knew that there was going to be like money just flying everywhere. When the federal government says we got $2 trillion and we're just going to layer it over the country, the fact that I didn't even think.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you didn't think of that, Richard.
Well, I don't have a larcenous heart, obviously.
That's right.
Because anybody who really would even thought about it probably could have figured out how to game this system and walk away with a few dollars. On the other hand, it looks like this Sharon Henderson might be going to jail.
Oh yeah, you don't need that in your life. We need you here. No jail time
for
Richard.
over $17,000.
They need to go after some bigger fish. That's what they need to do.
Start small, work
Yeah.
your way up. That's what
Yeah.
I say. Stacey Abrams is next. 646. Stick around. It's another blue group. Blue Swede. Are we going for a theme here, Steve? Is that what's going on? It's all blue songs?
It's blue.
No, I
groups?
played Buck Owens.
Yeah. Blue Buck Owens.
Right. I don't know. He might have been depressed.
Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. Today, speaking of hangouts, we just found out that the Hangout Festival in Gulf Shores is not happening in 2026.
Yep, they announced this last night, as a matter of fact, and we were all just kind of taken back and shocked, and we're like, what's going on with this? Why are they not having the Hangout Fest?
Oh, this is really interesting. I find this very interesting. We'll get into it in just a second after I remind you that Parrott Structural Services is in the business of getting your foundation back on the up and up. If you're having a foundation issue, then these are the guys that you want to call because they've got the helical pier system, they've got the slab jacking, they got the ground pumping, they got the soil stabilization, the wall tiebacks. There's not a trick they miss, and whatever your situation may be, they have a tool to handle it. Most importantly, they have the know-how, and they're going to shoot you straight every step of the way. They always say get a structural engineer to back them up. Loads of experience and integrity. There's plenty of fair and honest business out there for everyone. They don't feel the need to snow anybody. That's why they don't. That is Parrott Structural Services, parrottss.com, 668-2626. They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured, they're E-Verify compliant. Okay, so last year they didn't have so much the Hangout Festival as they had this. Sometimes groups will go on tour together. And that was the Sand in My Boots Festival. Morgan Wallen put this together, and there were a whole bunch of acts involved.
Right, based on a song that he did,
Yeah.
Sand in My Boots.
And they played in a number of different locations, and they just took it to Gulf Shores, and they put it in place of the Hangout Festival. They said it's going to be a one-year thing. It's going to be this instead of the Hangout Festival. Okay. Now, if you remember, the Hangout Festival generally has acts like, I don't know, Nelly has been there. There have been.
It's kind of it's a genre. It's not just one type of music.
Sure,
like country or rap or whatever.
They'll have different stuff on different nights, different stages, and overall, they try to kind of run the gamut, make sure that everybody's satisfied with this. Sand in My Boots was 100% country. That's all it was, all country acts. Okay, so. Apparently last year, first off, they had to admit, hey, the Hangout Festival is straighter and whiter than it usually is. And, get a load of this, local businesses remarked at how much better behaved and more affluent the crowd was.
That specifically was on some of the social media sites. The business owners said that. So they're like, So you had Post Malone. It was Wallen, Post Malone, Brooks and Dunn that were a part of this May Fest.
Sand in My Boots.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. And then, some other folks have glommed on social media that they actually liked Sand in My Boots event better than the Hangout event.
The standard Hangout Festival crowd, not as preferred as the Sand
maybe
in My
not as
Boots crowd.
rambunctious. I think you probably still have some folks that are rambunctious,
sure.
but not to the level of
you might,
some of the other Hangout events.
If you end up with a.
So this is, and then the mayor said, Mayor Robert Kraft said, we've run at the very end of the city council meeting. He just kind of threw it in there. There won't be any Hangout Festival in 2026. And so everybody's like, you tried to just squeeze when he's like, well, there's not time now. It's too late into 2025. We should have been planning this a year ago.
Right. Yeah, it's difficult to get these acts scheduled under those circumstances. You have to be a year in advance. You have to know pretty much who you're going after, and you have to be able to get them. And somebody, let it slip through their fingers. It may have been because they were conversing about this very thing. Like, could we do something like that again? Could we get more people like that? Because look, every business wants somebody on that stage who has an affluent, well-behaved fan base that's going to show up and spend a lot of money and not trash your place, right?
That's the perfect scenario right there.
Yeah.
That is it.
I mean, under the best of circumstances, you can't find a room down there for the week leading up to and the 2 days after the Hangout Fest because that thing is absolutely jammed up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go down Fort Morgan, or you're gonna have to go over to Panama City, Orange Beach, or something like that.
When you can charge a little bit more, You can charge a little bit more because the people are a little more affluent. And you can make sure that, when folks come in, they're going to be leaving big, healthy tips. It's easy to get workers under those circumstances. There's a lot of positive things here. So I'm sure that they toyed with that and they tried to figure out, and they probably tap danced around it. Like, how can we possibly get this? Is there some way that we can get something similar to that? And then when they realized that there wasn't, it was too late. The ship had sailed and it was over for them.
That's too bad. Well, hopefully now you plan for 2027.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot of people going, what do you mean there's no hangout festival? There's no big concert at Gulf Shores.
Come on.
In 2026.
Well, maybe the wharf will come up with a few things that they
Maybe.
can throw in during that
know.
weekend that'll make it worthwhile. I know. I've always that's a good weekend to be down there.
Yeah. I used to go a lot for the Shrimp Festival in Gulf Shores.
That's in October.
So, it was a lot of fun.
My band might be playing that this year. That'd be
A lot
kinda
of
cool.
fun.
We could get in on that. We, on the other hand, here we have got the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl, and we got a couple of powerhouse teams, baby. We got the 6-6 Appalachian State versus Georgia Southern. I'm sorry, Georgia Southern is 6-6. Appalachian State is 5-7. So really, we got the two real powerhouse teams here. These guys just barely missed being in the playoff.
Richard, look, if you enjoy football, and I'm sure there's a fan base for those two teams, and hopefully the Georgia team not far from Birmingham, they can come over and
Even Appalachian
part of it.
State is
Yeah,
not that
Appalachia.
far away. They'll be
Sure.
able to make it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I suspect that we'll probably fill the place up. Easy to travel here.
Yep.
But, man, it's rough when – how many teams turned us down there, Steve? Do you know?
I heard 5.
Well, there's quite a few teams that have just said no to bowl games altogether.
Auburn is one of them.
So
Notre
you
Dame
do
is
that,
one of
now
them.
you're down a little further. than
Rutgers. I mean, there are a bunch of teams that were just like, no,
Not
we're
doing
not
it.
going. We're not coming. Not going to do it. This is how you end up with a 5-7 App State team in your bowl game. We got to do something. Here's the thing about the Birmingham Bowl. Let me just give it a little love for a second here. It's at such a great time. It's on December 29th. There's no real other bowl games happening around it. So many of the bowl games don't take place until like January 1st. Some of them take place like right before Christmas. This falls into that great little dead zone between Christmas and New Year's. It's such a good time to have a bowl game.
People looking for something to do during
Yes.
that period of time.
Absolutely. So I wish that we could attract a better class of competitor.
I'm sure they tried.
They did.
There's no one out
I
there.
was like, nope, I don't think so. Thanks anyway.
Talk about college football changing.
Look, it's not in Legion Field anymore. You guys, you don't need to get tetanus shots. I'm telling you.
It's a protective
stadium. It's shiny. It's new. It still has the new stadium smell. You can come on down and enjoy. Please, we beg of you.
Great little restaurants around there, too. Get
Maybe next
yourself-
year.
Yeah, maybe.
Come on. It's Dixon and Vining Talk, 99.5 Talk, 99.5.com.